Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can score some pretty decent stuff at the junkyard to upgrade your 4Runner. So before I got into the modding scene, I actually drove my 4Runner around for about a year and a half without modding a single thing. The reason why I got that 4Runner was to go fishing and not so much modding or off-roading or four-wheeling. So I wasn't ready to spend a whole bunch of money modding my truck, but I did go to the salvage yard a lot to find parts for my 4Runner, and I ended up finding a whole bunch of neat stuff for it, and that's when I started modding my 4Runner. So on my 4Runner, I was able to find a whole bunch of upgrades at the junkyard. I was able to find a Tundra with 13 WL brake calipers out there, and I paid only $20 for them. I was able to find 2 e-lockers at the salvage yard. I only paid $300 for that. I also was able to find a steering knuckle out there so I can do my manual hub swap. Obviously that is optional, but I was able to do that to eliminate my downtime. Now you're probably wondering, these items are all used, and to be honest, they are used and you are taking a gamble, but the prices are so low, and even if they don't work, you can always take it back and get some store credit. So let's hop on the computer here. I'm going to show you guys how I do my research before I actually head out to the yard. Alright you guys, we're on my desktop here and we are at pickandpull.com. There are a couple of salvage yards out there. Pick and Pull is the one I typically go to. There's an iPull, U-Pull, I believe, that you can go to as well, and I do go here once in a while. There's not very many cars here, so it's not that great, but you can definitely go here. I actually found one of my e-lockers here by mistake. It actually did not list the vehicle there, and I was actually lucky and I found it. My brother-in-law actually found it. I have a video on that if you guys want to check that out. But Pick and Pull is the one I normally go to, and what you do is first you're going to want to check to make sure you have a Pick and Pull in your area. Hopefully you do, otherwise this video is pointless. But you can check for Toyota 4Runners, and you can just specify your year, and this is actually the manual way of doing it, and I'll show you guys a little bit of a shortcut in a little bit here. So once you search for that, you're going to want to look for 1996 through 2002 here. This will narrow it down to just the ones that we care about. So as you can see, there's 2 in the yard, and one thing you want to look at is this date here. This set date is when they actually put the vehicle in the yard. And you can say today is the 30th of December, and this thing's been in the yard for 9 days. So likely it's already been stripped and people have already gotten to it. So you got to be a little bit quick about this. This one here for sure has been stripped, and you know, normally I wouldn't even go to the yard because of this. But since there's been a lot of holidays in between and the yard's been closed, it might actually be a decent one. And so if you click on this vehicle, you'll see it is a limited 4-wheel drive, year 2000. This one is actually a really good one to go look at, because if you don't already know, 96 through 2000 is when they had the e-locker, and usually the limited ones had the e-locker in them. I mean, it was an option on all the years, but limited folks are a little bit richer. They had leather interiors, and there's a good chance they may have added the e-locker option, even if they didn't need it. So this one's actually a really good one to look at. And what I'm going to do is, on a piece of paper, I'm going to be writing down the row number where it's at, and also the last 2 digits of the year, so I can go find it really easily. So I'm going to do that for both of these. It's in row 4 and 7. It looks like they moved the rows. These used to be in row like 60 or 70. It was a long walk to get to these things. Another useful one to look at is a Toyota Tundra, years 2000 through 2005. And these will typically have the Tundra brake upgrade, so the 13WL or even the 13SE, I believe. Those are the smaller Tundra brake upgrades. And so you can see here there's actually quite a bit, and typically at Pick and Pulls there's never Tundras here, so I'm very surprised that there's actually 5 of them. And if you click on the pictures, you can see, okay, this one looks like a pretty good candidate. It's a 2000, so it's a little bit older. I like to look for the 2004 and up. So this one here looks like a crew cab, so that's good. So this one likely might have that big brake upgrade. The newer trucks with the V8s typically need the bigger brakes. So we're going to write down all of these rows and all these years so we can go hunt them down. And you can see they've been in the yard for quite a long time now. And most likely somebody has already gotten to those calipers. There aren't very many useful parts on this truck for our 4Runners. Really the only thing that's useful is the calipers. So I'm going to write them down anyway so we can check them out at the yard, and then we're going to see if we can find anything. Another thing that's not known is you can actually check the Sequoias as well. And I don't recall what years, so I'm just going to do all years here. And I'm going to see, okay, there's 2 Sequoias out there. So this one is the same as the Tundra. So sometimes these will actually have the Tundra brake upgrades as well. So you'll want to check these out. So both of these years here, I'm going to be checking out at the yard as well. Now you're probably wondering how I score all these great parts before anybody else. And the trick is to make sure you check these dates. So you can see here, this one came on the 28th. This is a Sequoia. And likely it hasn't been stripped yet because it's only been 2 days. So it's been raining a lot. Hopefully nobody's gotten to it unless they're more hardcore than I am. But most likely this one hasn't been stripped as much and it may have its parts still. So that's one thing you want to check. But if you want to get to this truck before anybody else does, what you want to do is you want to save this page. So you'll see here I entered all my parameters in here and I hit search. You'll notice in the URL here that it has all of that stuff saved up here. So if I were to close this window and now open this again, you'll see here it actually put all those things in there for me already. So what you can do is you can search for Tundras and 4Runners and just bookmark it like I have here. And then every day just come in here and click on this and you can go and find the 4Runners because they'll show up right away. And you kind of have to be quick about it because if they just posted it yesterday, let's say, and today's the 30th, you've got to get out there that same day because that means that nobody else has touched this truck and you're basically going to have first dibs. If you wait too long and you wait until the weekend, like let's say the 1st here, I don't think the yards are open on New Year's Day, but if you wait until the 1st or you wait until next weekend, all the good parts are going to be gone and you're going to be missing out on potentially cheap upgrades. This is basically how I found my e-locker, and the Tundra I actually found by accident, so I didn't use this method. But this is basically what you have to do, and I have this bookmark right up here, and when I'm working or when I'm at my desk, I just click this, and I actually have this bookmarked on my phone as well, so I'll click on this once in a while on my phone, and I'll just check to see if any items showed up here, and then if it did, then I'll make a plan to go out there that day, or at least the next morning. The sooner the better. So hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to leave this in my video, but you can change the zip code here. You can see it's pretty simple. It's right here. You can just change this to whatever your zip code is, and then you can change the distance out further if you want, and then the make and the model you don't need to mess with, but that's how you create this bookmark. All right, now that we got all our cars and row numbers written down, let's go head out to the yard and see what we can find. Found one. It's a 99. No e-locker. Oh. 4-wheel drive. Yeah, 4-wheel drive. Let's take a look. Oh, I do need these bolts right here. Moment of truth. No e-locker. Usually these limiteds do come with an e-locker. It's all good. Leather seats. Alright, this one's been stripped clean, guys. Alright, not much left. Same by. Oh, pretty sweet second gen right here. It's even got some Bilsteins. Check that out. Whoever owns the second gen, come grab it. This one's pretty clean in here. Holy smokes. Disgusting 3.0. Even worse, it's a two-wheel drive. I found our first Tundra. Brakes are gone. V8 motor. What happens when it rains. Here's the 05 Tundra. See some brake parts in here. Only the rotor though. Looks like the calipers are gone, guys. These are new. Did find a brake pad, but looks like somebody took the calipers already. Alright, on to the next truck. Alright, we found the 2000 Tundra. This is row 16. Bottom one right here. Let's take a look. Oh no, this is not good. It's all gone. Alright, well, that's not good. Let's take a look around. There's a rotor. Alright, no luck here, guys. No luck. Alright, this is useless here. Alright, moving on. Alright, we found our 03 in row 17 here, and again, calipers are gone. Here's a cool little thing, if you guys are interested. Transmission cooler. Should work for our 3rd gens. I mean, you just have to build the bracket. I actually thought about doing that, but I decided not to. I just went aftermarket. It's all gone. It's only a pad left. 2 pads. Alright, we found a 02 Sequoia right here, and looks like the brakes are gone, guys. They took the calipers. Bummer. Looks like we are not going to be getting any Tundra brake upgrade today. There's another transmission cooler. We found our last Tundra here. This one's a double cab, or crew cab. And again, the brakes are gone. Man, you 4Runner owners, you guys are fast. Bummer. Looks like this one rolled. Oh wow, Bilstein 5100s, guys. I'm gonna look up the part number real quick. These actually might be worth something, assuming they're still good. Wow, this guy maxed out that preload. It's on the 5th perch. Alright guys, I think we scored a nice one here. These will actually fit in the 3rd gen as well. So I'm gonna see if I can get a price check. Bushings still look good. It looks pretty new actually. It's not leaking. This side's got a little bit. No, not really. I think we're gonna grab these and get ourselves some Tundra Bilstein shocks. Sweet. Alright guys, you did a quick look up on my video and actually have these shocks specifically for that 2-inch lift video. The springs are not the same, but I think we're gonna grab them and get a price check. Everything looks pretty good in here. They look pretty new. The boots are good. Bushings don't look destroyed. And best of all, somebody took it out for me already. So we're gonna go ahead and just take this guy and see. It's weird that there's 2 nuts on here. But alright, I'm gonna grab it and get a price and get out of here. Alright guys, we are back home now and I got these shocks cleaned up a little bit. And I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with them yet. I don't know if I'm gonna swap out my existing Bilsteins for these. I don't know if it's worth the hassle. We'll see how I feel. But everything looks pretty good. Weird double nut action here, who knows? But everything seems to be there. There's no leaks. And hopefully they're not duds when I take them apart. I can't really tell right now. I also picked up some spare lug nuts here for my tire carrier since I needed some. And then I also picked up this hose since I wasn't that impressed with the other hose. I had to tighten that clamp pretty tight to get it to stop seeping out a little bit. So got me a new reservoir hose. And then down here I got new bolts for the fan shroud as well, since I was using some stainless steel ones that I found around the house. So everything is back to OEM now, and I only paid $6 for all the bolts, the hose, and those lug nuts. Oh yeah, it also came with this cap as well. So $6 for this cap, hose, bolts, and lug nuts. Guess it's not too bad since I kind of ruined my other one. And then these shocks, I ended up paying $70 plus a $6 core charge plus tax. So I think all in probably about $80 for this whole thing. So for both struts here. And most likely I'm only going to need the shock and the top hat. The spring is probably not something I'm going to be using. So not a bad deal, not a bad day at the junkyard. And you know, just goes to show you guys, if you do a little bit of research and check what's out there at the yard, you might get lucky and you might find some cool stuff like this. Or, you know, in my case, I was looking for some Tundra brake calipers, but I couldn't find any, but, you know, scored some of these instead. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps up the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys can find something at your salvage yard before the other guy does. As you can see, you can find some quality parts out there. I actually got lucky with this. I actually wasn't even going for this, but all it takes is a little bit of time and just go out there and see what you can find. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more content. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. As mentioned, I will leave a link down in the video description so you guys can just update it with your zip code. That way you guys can find 4Runner parts. As always, guys, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.